Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to do a friendship reading between Giselle and Ningning, and I believe this is the last combination to finish off all of the possible pairings in aespa. So feel free to check out the playlist in case you want to watch the other ones. But in this reading we're going to have multiple questions that we're going to answer, and let's just get on with it. So let's start with the first question, which is a card that will represent the dynamics between Ningning and Giselle. We have outer core with the word fluidity, and let's take out one card that will represent Giselle in this dynamic, or I guess two, and then one card to represent Ningning in this dynamic. 10 of Cups reverse. So the card that best represents the dynamics between Ningning and Giselle is outer core with fluidity, meaning that they kind of just go with the flow, they do their own thing, they just, they're influenced by their environment and they just kind of jump into the unknowns and just take one day at a time, 1 minute at a time. Seems like they're very relaxed. There's a sense of like rebirth and self-empowerment, because I'm seeing how this woman is like walking out of the water, and it makes me think of someone that either did like a cleansing ritual or someone that had like this rebirth and is like coming out of the water. You know what I'm also getting? Like the Little Mermaid, so maybe like a mermaid like transforming into a human or something like that. And with that thought, that makes me think of them feeling beautiful, powerful, and having a sense of rebirth, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting, a new way of doing things. So the type of dynamics that they have is one where they really take care of their physical vessel, meaning that they take care of their skin, their health, their appearance. So maybe they like to... We will see later what other cards come up, because there's one question that talks about like what they like to do together. But I'm already getting like maybe they like to look at fashion, go buy clothes together. There's this sense of they like to either go to stores to buy products to enhance their physical body as well as to maintain and take care of it. There is also this sense of like they might like to go swimming as well. So they have a type of dynamic where they like to do a bunch of fun things together in order to cleanse their mind, their soul, and their body. Something along those lines. Now, the cards that represent Giselle here is the Ace of Swords reverse and the Moon reverse. So there's a sense of both of them have good cards that are reversed, meaning that there's potential here that has not quite been reached yet. But in this dynamic, I think that these cards being reversed could also show where their shortcomings are and how this dynamic could help them enhance these traits that they're not embodying quite yet. So for Giselle, this Ace of Swords reverse could symbolize someone that is finding it difficult to communicate, someone that may find it a bit challenging to get their ideas across. Right now, there is a chance that Giselle may find it a bit difficult to think clearly, so her judgment is a bit clouded, and it's cluttered. And there's also, I'm laughing because I'm like, those words got messed up somehow. And the other thing is that I do feel that she is finding it kind of difficult to discern what's good and what's wrong. What does she want and what she's being influenced by, and something along those lines. There is a sense of like, in this dynamic, Giselle may feel a bit disconnected from her subconscious or like there's this sense of like she's confused. And she finds it, like the clarity definitely is not there. Now, with the Moon card, we're getting a better idea as to why this Ace of Swords is reversed, because outright the Moon talks about someone being surrounded by the unknown, by mystery. There's this sense of clouded judgment or confusion that comes in, because the Moon is very good at presenting an illusion of something. And there's also this sense of, intuition, because the Moon in tarot represents Pisces energy. And Pisces could talk about confusion because it's ruled by Neptune. And there's this whole idea of like being between worlds almost, in a way that can be a bit confusing for someone that can't tell the difference between their intuition in the spiritual world and then the 3D physical world that they live in. So I do feel that Giselle may be struggling with that a little bit. So she's represented in this dynamic as someone that can't really think clearly and can't really communicate her ideas because there's internal conflict and confusion. There is this sense of, in this dynamic, Giselle is someone that is probably easily influenced by external ideas or thoughts, and it's like seeping into her person in such a way that's when she's finding it difficult to think of her personal ideas because it's all getting very muddy and mixed up. So this moon reverse kind of just tells me that there is still a lot of confusion. You will think that it reverse could mean that Giselle sees things clearly, but I do feel that it being reversed is actually just saying how the moon has not, it's worse than what it usually means. Now with Ningning, we have the 10 of Cups reverse. So in this dynamic, she is someone that can be a bit practical and maybe a little bit pessimistic, but she still believes deep down that she can get a happily ever after, that she can get emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. Because the 10 of Cups talks about like a fairy tale type of ending. It talks about, reaching the end of the rainbow. There's this sense of feeling happy and fulfilled because you reached the goal. And the 10 of Cups could represent family as well, and maybe even love and all of those things. So I do feel that Ningning in this dynamic with it being reversed could be a bit pessimistic about all of that positivity, but at the same time she does believe that it is possible. So there's this sense of like a healthy sense of skepticism, but then also at the same time she could reach this pessimistic side of her where it's like, it's all, fairy tales are just fairy tales, right? And I do feel that can get a bit confused with being practical and logical about things. There's nothing wrong with daydreaming. There's nothing wrong with believing in magic and fairy tales, but of course there needs to be a healthy balance to stay grounded on earth and being able to still work hard in achieving your goals and dreams. So let's get on to the third question here, because the second one was like the cards that represent them, to get a better idea of how their dynamics work. So the first question is, how do they see each other? And let's see, how does Giselle see Ningning? We have the star. Oh, that is very nice. And how does Ningning see Giselle? So we have the King of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. So Giselle has a very nice idea of Ningning because the star represents hope. It represents a wish come true. And to me, the star also represents a sense of guidance. It's like when you feel like you're in the dark and you don't know where to go, then the star makes me think of the Northern Star and how you can use that in the Northern Hemisphere as a way to kind of navigate your way around and kind of like recenter yourself and be like, oh, this is where I'm at. So the star here is Aquarius energy as well, meaning that Giselle sees Ningning as someone that is filled with hope. There is a sense that it may sound a bit cheesy, but because I was thinking of like being the center of my world, that's kind of like the words that came up. But I think Giselle sees Ningning as someone that helps her center herself again, someone that helps her believe, as well as someone that helps her find guidance and light in this muddy energy that she's been in right now. I do feel that this cards could be a bit more of like not only the dynamic, like what represents them in this dynamic, but it could also be how they're feeling at the moment. I am getting that right now. Also with the stars, there's a sense that Giselle sees Ningning as someone that has big goals and is very ambitious, and she does accomplish them. Also as someone that goes at her own pace, goes at her own rhythm, does her own thing, because I'm thinking of the Aquarius aspect of this. And there's this also sense that Ningning is someone that it could be quite humanitarian or does like to be with people and help them out. And I think that the help that she gives is one of advice and guidance, as well as setting the example. So there's a sense of like her confidence and her ability to just chase after her dreams is a way that she inspires, motivates, and helps other people. So I do think that that's how Giselle sees Ningning, as someone that is just being herself, and that is enough to be of healing to others by setting the example of being a role model in a way of like live your own life and be happy kind of thing. Also, seeing how this woman is hugging this little goat makes me think that Giselle sees Ningning as someone that she wants to protect and take care of. And I did get a little bit of that with this Ten of Cups. I saw the thoughts and I was like, this card represents how Ningning is very cute and adorable. Now, on the other hand, Ningning sees Giselle as the King of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. So the King of Pentacles kind of shows Capricorn energy, and now that I think about it, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology, and the King of Pentacles is ruled, it's Capricorn energy who is ruled by Saturn as well. So I do feel that they may have this common ground of they break boundaries, break limitations, as well as they may have had a lot of hardships that they are able to see on the other and kind of like bond over. Anyway, this King of Pentacles kind of just shows that Ningning sees Giselle as someone that is very stable, super grounded, and someone that is respected or is someone that can guide other people, and it's a good leader somehow. So the thing is that I think the way that Giselle is a leader is because Giselle is an initiator. She's someone that starts things. This Ace of Swords, when it's upright, could symbolize someone that is starting a journey and is kind of like making decisions, or like bringing this idea down to something a bit more tangible. So I do feel that Ningning sees Giselle as someone that can initiate any idea. So if someone goes like, I want to do this, I want to do that, then Giselle is the one that kind of starts bringing the practical side of things of like, okay, then we need to think about these things, we need to take this into consideration, we need to start preparing all of these things. So maybe Giselle's a bit of a planner, or she's the one that starts initiating all of these ideas that others may want to execute. Also, with the Seven of Swords, I think Ningning sees Giselle as someone that is quite private, or someone that doesn't, because look, to me the Seven of Swords talks about betrayal, but the other meanings of it could also are someone that keeps their cards very close to their chest, or someone that doesn't say the full. It could talk about lies and deception, because it usually shows like this guy that is taking a couple, like 5 swords in their hand and like running away, and there's 2 swords in the back. And some people can say that the Seven of Swords talks about someone that is like picking what truths to say or what information to give. So this kind of tells me, especially with this King of Pentacles, that Ningning sees Giselle as someone that is quite private, or someone that doesn't necessarily lie, but omits truths, in the sense of like, if she doesn't feel comfortable talking about something, she just doesn't bring it up, or just changes the topic. And I do feel that this is coming up because there might be a chance that they do talk a lot about their hardships, which could explain why the card that represents their relationship is one of self-empowerment. So now let's go to the 4th question and figure out how they like to spend their time together. We got air with the word motion. So they like to travel, they like to do new things and go towards change. They like to always do something new, learn something new, experience something new. They like to explore new places. There is a sense like they like to do that, because I'm getting these clouds, and that is reminding me of the moon and like having a cloud judgment and not being able to see clearly. Like there's this fog and muddiness in the energy. So I do feel that what they like to do is, when they're under a lot of stress or they feel overwhelmed by something, that's when they like to go out and take like a deep breath, or go out and do something fun. I am getting like doing some like extreme sports or something that can get their blood pumping and their adrenaline going. And with this movement, I do feel that it could just be travel, or it could be like, I don't know, maybe an amusement park. I'm getting like, they like to do things where Like maybe they like to go exercise together, or I don't even know if they like exercising, but there's a sense of like they like to do something that will help them get rid of all the negativity that could be burdening them or overwhelming them. So they just like to change the scenery or change the environment that they're in and do something different, something new, so they can bring stability in their life once again. So as I mentioned earlier, maybe they would like to go out to go on a shopping spree and just kind of like deflate or like let go of all the negativity that is holding them back and overwhelming them. So now let's figure out what do they like about each other. So what does Giselle like about Ningning? We have the Fool and the Eight of Coins, or the Eight of Pentacles. And what does Ningning like about Giselle? We have the World and the King of Cups reversed. Okay. So the thing that Giselle likes about Ningning with the Fool and the Eight of Coins is that Ningning is a very hardworking person, because the Eight of Coins talks about someone that is perfecting their craft, someone that is working hard, someone that is learning, and it can even represent someone that is teaching somebody else how to harness a skill. So there is a sense of like Giselle really likes how Ningning is very good at something and how she can learn from her experience and her expertise. There's also this sense of like she just likes how Ningning works very hard. Oh, you know what I'm getting? So you see how all the geese here, and there's like one goose right there in the Seven of Swords. So this makes me think that whenever Giselle is having a difficult time either explaining herself or she's going through something rough and she doesn't feel comfortable speaking up about it, what she likes is that Ningning is very good at identifying that and helping her work through those issues. That's kind of what I'm getting. Because this Eight of Coins, the story of this one was something along like this girl's brothers or like siblings get cursed by this witch. The story here is kind of like a sister that is working very hard through a curse to be able to save her siblings. What Giselle likes about Ningning is that Ningning works very hard for the people that she cares about when they're in need. And with the Fool here, this is the Little Mermaid. So this makes me think that Giselle also likes how Ningning is someone that will help her try new things, or is the one that will join her in trying new things. Because I'm thinking of like the song of like Part of That World, something like that. So there's a sense of like yearning for something, wanting something, but what Giselle likes about Ningning is that Ningning will either help her or accompany her into venturing out into this new world and doing these new things, which we kind of saw a little bit in the dynamics that they have. Also, the Fool represents like a new beginning, the start of something, of a new chapter, of a new journey. So it also means like jumping into the unknown, taking that risk. So I do feel that Giselle likes how Ningning is either not afraid of trying new things, or as I mentioned earlier, likes how Ningning accompanies her in like doing all this crazy shenanigans of trying new things and explore the world. Now, the thing that Ningning likes about Giselle, we have the World, which is Saturn energy, and then we have the King of Cups reversed, which is Cancer energy. This makes me think that Ningning likes how Giselle has her shit together, even when she's not okay. So even when, because I'm thinking of how the King of Cups reversed could talk about someone that is immature, or someone that is struggling with their emotions, someone who may be a little bit out of balance, but the fact that this card is still here kind of shows that Ningning still has a lot of respect for Giselle and looks up to her. And there's a sense of like authority that Ningning does take into consideration. Like she does respect Giselle's authority. There's a sense like Ningning sees Giselle as someone that even when the world may be against her or she is having a lot of overwhelming baggage burdening her, Giselle still pushes forward, stays strong, and closes cycles and continues working hard. There is a sense of, because like the world could also talk about like things coming to an end. Because it's the last card of the Mayor Arcana, and it also talks about someone that has gone through a very long, harsh journey. So this makes me think that Ningning likes how Giselle is able to overcome issues and like complete things in her life. She also likes how Giselle is able to go through her fate and her destiny and overcome any obstacles. And even when Giselle is going through a very rough time, she still stays strong and stable. Because even though this King of Cups is reversed, I don't see it as anything bad. I see it more as, even in hardships and difficulties, Giselle is able to maintain some sort of stability. And I think that's what Ningning likes. The ability that Giselle has to keep her shit together even when she's going through all of this muddy confusion and all of this stressful period. There's something also about like even when Giselle is at odds or like there's clashing energies going on around here, Ningning sees how they're able to still work together or something along those lines. Yeah, it's like even when Giselle is at odds with herself, she still doesn't go completely off balance to create like a hostile environment, if that makes sense. Because you know how there's some people that when they get angry, they make it their mission to make sure everybody else is angry with them or at something so they're not the only one. Well, yeah, Giselle is not that type of person. It's like even if she's going through it and she's going through a difficult time, she still tries her best to not make that affect the way that she treats others and make sure that it doesn't bother the people that she's hanging out with. So I think Ningning really likes that about Giselle. Now let's go to the next question, which is what have they learned from each other? So what has Giselle learned from Ningning? We have the Queen of Wands reversed. And the Two of Swords reversed. And what has Ningning learned from Giselle? We have the Four of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Oh, to me this one is actually very clear. Okay, so we have Queens here. A sense of self-empowerment, being in your feminine energy of being receptive, maybe a bit of an introvert, and allowing things to like flow into you, or attracting and being like this magnet that brings abundance and prosperity into their life. Anyway, so here we have Leo and Taurus energy with the Queen of Wands, Leo, and then the Queen of Pentacles, we have Taurus. So the thing that Giselle has learned from Ningning is how to stay determined, because with the Two of Swords reversed, I'm not getting someone that doesn't know, that hasn't made a decision, or someone that can't see the opportunities and does not know what to decide on or what their options are. I'm seeing it more as someone that has already made a decision, so it's not up to debate. So this makes me think that the thing that Giselle has learned from Ningning is how to make decisions, is how to say this is what I want and kind of like sticking to that. There's a sense of not holding on making decisions and actually taking the time to just do something, right? There's a sense of like, I think Giselle has learned from Ningning that even when you don't make a decision, you still are making a decision. So like if you go like, do you want option A or option B? Even if you don't make a decision, by staying quiet, the decision will be made for you. Therefore, you have made the decision of giving that power away, if that makes sense. Even if it's like, even if you're not aware of it, that's how it works. That's how it happens. And the Queen of Wands reverse makes me think that Giselle hasn't really embodied this quite yet. But one of the things that she has learned from Ningning is how to be passionate about life, how to stay creative, happy, optimistic. So those are traits that Giselle hasn't embodied in herself quite yet. However, she's able to at least recognize that these things exist. So even if it takes a bit of a while to get there, at least she already has an example of someone that can provide that for her. So I do feel that this Queen of Wands reverse with this Leo energy is this sense of like Giselle has learned from Ningning how to respect herself or how to prioritize herself and put herself first. Not in a selfish way, but more in the I need to take care of myself healing and, give myself a bit of self love, self care. There's this sense of like prioritizing herself so like that she's not influenced by other people or so like that she can live a more of a comfortable life. On the other hand, the thing that Ningning has learned from Giselle with his Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles usually talks about someone that is very abundant, someone that is stable in their career with their finances and material possessions. And it also talks about someone that, since they're so abundant, they're able to provide and share for other people. So with this card being reversed, what it usually means is that instead of providing to others and giving to others, it is better to provide for yourself. Internalize that energy. It's like, let me take care of myself, let me bring stability for myself, let me bring this kindness and understanding to myself, and whatever abundance I get, let me use it on me. It's like, let me focus on my person first and prioritize me before I can provide for others. Because usually the Queen of Pentacles is so abundant that it just kind of like spills out of their energy and it rewards the people around them automatically, right? So, but when it's reversed, it's like you don't have that type of energy. It's better to just, get all of those good vibes and spend it on yourself. Now, this card in here makes me think that the thing that Ningning has learned from Giselle is how to prioritize herself as well. And I do feel that they both have a very similar meaning because I think they're mirroring each other. It's like when one is going through a rough time, the first thing the other one says is like, look out for yourself first. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about other, like, the situation in the environment. Make sure you take care of you. And I think that they're a constant reminder to each other that when they're going through a rough time, the best thing that they can do is take care of themselves. Now, the way that they encourage each other is very different because the thing that Giselle learned from Ningning is to like fire herself up and stay positive and inspired. And the thing that Ningning has learned from Giselle is how to be practical in her way of prioritizing herself. So it more like, oh, let me plan things out, let me take care of my routine, let me go back to the basics, or let me create a stronger foundation. So they're empowering each other and helping each other out. But I do feel that the way that they're influencing each other, or like the traits, if you want to put it that way, that they're trying to embody is different. One is a bit more grounded and stable, which it will be for Ningning, and for Giselle is more of like this fiery, go-getter energy. So, and I think it's funny because they're not necessarily opposing energies, but you could even say there's a little bit of that. So Giselle has learned how to like spark this energy and this adrenaline that will push her forward. And Ningning has learned how to actually slow down to ground herself, right? So maybe not like jump the gun and do things, and more like, okay, let me take a step back and assess the situation before taking action. That kind of vibe. And also the Four of Pentacles reverse could show someone that like, I think Ningning has learned from Giselle how to manage her money and how to spend it. Maybe to not feel guilty about spending money on herself, or learn how to manage her money so she doesn't do retail therapy in an excessive way. Also, with this Four of Pentacles reverse, I do feel that there's a sense of like Ningning has learned from Giselle how to let go of limiting beliefs or letting go of something that she holds onto very tightly. So if it's an idea, if it's a thought, if it's something within her career, Ningning has learned from Giselle how to just let go of those things. and not allow it to bother her or hold her back. Also, I think Ningning has learned from Giselle how to reconnect to nature, or how to just have a more peaceful way of thinking or doing things. To finish off this reading, let's go on to the last question, which is, why did Giselle and Ningning meet? So let's see. Dear destiny, dear fate in the heavens or whatever, why did Giselle and Ningning meet? Okay, that was very straightforward. So we have rain with fecundity. I still don't know how to say that word. It, like, every time this card comes up, I go like, like dot, dot, dot. Anyway, so the reason why they met was so they can bring abundance to each other, so they can like fertilize the I'm saying it that way because there's this sense of like nourishing and flourishing the environment or the thing that you're working on, right? So there's this sense of like the reason why they met was so they could nurture each other, nurture their dreams, help each other, and influence each other to grow, to become better, to stay abundant. The reason why they met, also with rain, I just automatically think of cleansing. Like every time I hear rain falling, I feel an instant sense of relaxation. I struggled so much to say that word. I thought it was funny. There is this sense of the reason why they met was so they could help each other, be of support to each other, as well as I mentioned earlier, be a mirror to help each other stay positive, motivated, and inspired to work on themselves. And one of the reasons why that is being highlighted and it's so important is by prioritizing themselves and working on themselves, they create such a strong internal home or foundation that will allow them to achieve anything in life, because by knowing themselves and what they want, as well as having some stability within them, will make it so like that they are aware and they have all of the tools necessary to manifest and build the type of future that they're working for, or trying to become the person that they're embodying to perfection. That's the words that came up. So there's this sense of like the reason why they met was to, I don't think they're super different, but they're different enough that they can learn from each other and have a different point of view in such a way that they're able to learn a different way or a different method to take care of themselves or to grow as individuals, and that's allowing them to become the best version of themselves. The other thing that I'm getting that just randomly came up is that the reason why they met was so they could become like this safe zone, or create like a safe space for each other when they're not okay. So when one of them is going through it, the other person will be there to either encourage them to get better and like stay positive, or to create this space where they can safely vent, rant, and allow their emotions to go through, as well as create this space where they can then work through that. Also, while looking at this card, I got the word April, because usually April is seen as like the month where it rains a lot. And I was thinking of April rain or April showers. And when I was doing that, I was like, wait a minute, doesn't 17 have a song called that? So maybe whatever that song's about, that could be significant as to why they met. And also, I'm seeing like the number 7 here, which I don't know what life path 7 is, but whatever that is, that could also be the reason why they met. So yeah, I will leave the reading here. I hope you guys liked it. I hope that you learned from this, or at least found it entertaining. It was very nice to see how they empower each other so much. It's very funny because when the first card came out, I was thinking of like this like very like girly, like mean girls type of attitude of like, yeah, you got this, powering each other up, but in such a way that it felt kind of like bien fresa. That's a phrase in Spanish. I don't know, like very LA girl, very Cali girl type of energy. And then as we continue moving towards the reading, it was just kind of like the vibes were still there about like, girl power, self-empowerment type of thing, but it delved a bit more into like we have hardships that we're healing through, and we're trying to become better people to create a stronger foundation. So there's this sense of like a very mature way of trying to solve issues and trying to like reach this maturity of embodying the best version of themselves, which I think is a very interesting, fun, but definitely very meaningful way of interacting with each other, or for this reading to go through, if that makes sense. It's like we started in a very like superficial way, and then as we went through, I could see the depth of, or like the meaning of their connection and dynamics as individuals, as well as in a pair. Anyway, thank you so much for all your love and support. I will see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Love and healing from my part to you, and bye.